Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where I am so excited tonight, guys. We are breathing rarefied air. We have two of the most wise, cosmic and ancient beings that I am so excited to hear from tonight. A lot of you, some of my really close friends, know how much I love Egypt and the whole mystery behind Egypt. So I'm going to be listening very carefully tonight, as I hope you are too. If you have questions, please put them in the chat room in capital letters so I know to ask them to our beautiful guests. And I just want to thank you, as always, for being here. Thank you for your PayPals. Thank you for your super chats. When you donate to Broadcast Team Alpha, it helps us, of course, cover production costs, and it also helps us have a bigger reach. And then we get incredible guests, more and more incredible guests like Shimaa and Eleanor tonight. So, Augie, without any further ado from me, please. I can't think of the word. Please introduce our guest.
It's okay. It's my turn. Oh gosh. Well, yeah.
I love when that happens.
We'll just keep laughing because this will be fun. It will be so much fun because we have Shimaa Badawy from Cairo, Egypt, and Eleanor Lydia Baine from down in Barbados, I think, or something like that. And there is 3 a.m. in Cairo, so we really appreciate you, Shimaa, because there were times in my life when I didn't think 3 a.m. existed, but it does, I guess. So you're looking at it here. And okay, a little bit more serious. This is going to be very educational for me, because we will explore Egypt tonight. What is above the sand, below the sand. And some people say that we may have only discovered about 10% of all the artifacts that is in Egypt above or below the sand. And there are so many secrets. Some of them are known, but some of them are known. It is just that they've been kept from us, because Egypt is a key to the history that we were never told, that connects to extraterrestrial connection and other worldly connections from Lemuria maybe, or other places around that all ended up with higher technologies back in Egypt. But the handlers of the world, they don't want us to know anything about this history, because the technology of the past, like maybe Egypt, Tartaria, the stone builders of South America, and the collapsed civilizations dating back, maybe even millions of years ago, they outperform us in many different ways compared to what we can do today. And who is better to talk about this than our guests tonight, Shimaa Badawy and Eleanor Lydia Baine. They're also here, Eleanor is also here to talk about her experiences being on the Giza Plateau as well as elsewhere in Egypt, and also help a little bit with the translations, because the Egyptians, they talk too fast. I just can't follow. So Eleanor has also been in Egypt and have a lot of pictures to show us. So this is going to be fun. And welcome to the show, Shimaa and Eleanor.
Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is so exciting. Thank you. And I love to ask a first question so we kind of get to know you a little bit personally. So how did you each arrive at this place, at this incredible place, this expansive place, this amazing path that you're on? You know, when you were little, did you kind of have glimmers of knowing that you were going in this direction, or how did that unfold for you?
No, Shimaa, you're muted, Shimaa.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you for all of you. I'm very, very happy to be with you. It is my pleasure to invite me to be with you. About Egypt, and this is not a country, just a country. It is the old civilization in the world. In this session, you will know more about Egypt. What is the secret? What will surprise all of us? For me, 20 years ago, I am a business administration. I study MBA and DBA. I am not involved in Egyptologist at all. But in 2020, I have suddenly some problem with my beloved sister. She had a cancer, and I was close to her at the end of her life. She passed away. So I have a connection with her client, and I be with her in the temple and in the pyramid. So I see Egypt from another side. Just I was working in the healthcare industry. So my sister is Egyptologist. I'm not interested. But in this time, I know what is Egypt, what is the spirit in Egypt, what is the energy. So after my sister passed away, I complete her mission and her dream to own a tour company and to work with tourists, big groups. So now I'm here with you.
We are so happy you are. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you, Shimaa. Thank you, Shimaa.
Thank you for you. Thank you.
Yes. Eleanor.
Hello, Nori and Age. Thank you so much for having us on. And my journey with Egypt began from a young age. I always had a draw. You know, in those days growing up, the internet wasn't even there yet. But as I got older and I started to go to art school, this was in the late 90s, and we were studying history of art. When we did the core for Egypt, we were in a dark room with these slideshows being presented to us. And it was at that time that I started to get a stream of reoccurring dreams. They were very, very intense and very realistic, these dreams. This proceeded to where I actually saw someone like a therapist or hypnotherapist to help me to uncover and unpack what I was experiencing, because the quality of the dream was very real and impactful for me. A lot of the content of those dreams were ceremonial. So I was in different initiations, rites of initiation and ceremonies. And as the internet started to develop and I could do more detailed research, this is post the year 2000, I was able to see that these experiences I was having in my dreams were historical facts, and very similar types of ceremonies and initiations were in fact taking place in Egypt. So along with that, and my career always being around healing, I've been a healer and studying many different modalities since 1994. And a lot of those modalities, you as a hypnotherapist, Age, as you would know, help us to access those deeper memories and experiences. So this is what gave me the prompt and the promise to myself that I was going to return to Egypt in this lifetime. I was going to physically stand and experience the energies and the sacred sites of Egypt, because reading, as we know, even things that we can experience in our memories are one type of experience, but going for ourselves so that we can figure out and we can feel and know it as a living truth, and also to speak to the local people, to allow the synchronicities to happen, where the bonds that are made, like how I met Shimaa is because her beloved sister that passed away, when I met her and I did my first tour in Egypt in 2018, we instantly recognized each other as soul sisters. And Doa, who is Shimaa's sister that passed away in 2021, she was a living library and a record keeper, not only in her DNA, being a long lineage of Egyptians, but she was, I think, chosen so that she could be taking, people from all over the world with the right knowledge, not just the outside knowledge that we tend to hear, but the real deep inner knowledge. And Doa was even though her main religion, and the main religion in Egypt is Islam, Egypt has layer upon layer of deeper spirituality there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I know for many people, a trip to Egypt or visiting the pyramids and all the rest of it is a once-in-a-lifetime event. But I tell you, I have not been there, but I really want to, because I know I want that once-in-a-lifetime event.
Yes. It is certainly a pilgrimage. And the thing about Egypt is, as everybody knows, I think most people are aware, especially in this audience, Egypt is built upon these very special ley lines or grids or, energy centers, how the pyramids are built, and in the very geometries and structures. And Egypt is a place where you can be healed, you can be activated, but you can also, as a healer and as a person that works with energy, you can also give your energy to these great energy centers to sort of charge them up to do their great work as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable. I am having this overwhelming awareness as if we have already done this together. It's so powerful. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I want to ask Shimaa, when people come to Egypt, what is the most important and most powerful thing that you think they go away with?
They go away or to know a lot of things they must know. Egypt. They must know what is Egypt, what is inside Egypt. So we will go through around the river and discover, just in the journey through the Nile, starting from Upper Egypt or from Lower Egypt, wherever, you have 7 chakras. You can move for your body, for each one, through the Nile. This is, I know, people don't know this. This is our chakra is through the Nile. So if we start, go to Luxor, Aswan, Great Pyramids, Tal El Amarna, wherever, which cult, because this is the cult. So a lot of cults around the river, people need to go there for healing, for reactivation, for reconnect with our ancestors. Mm-hmm. So Egypt, not a country for just a trip, eat food and do something. No, it's a different trip. I ask each one to come. It's the country of healers. If we speak about our God and gods, you can see Sekhmet. Sekhmet is my tour company name, but she is a goddess. When you go Sekhmet chamber in the Karnak, you feel that you came to heal. It is different energy. You just stay in front of Sekhmet and you will be released from bad and negative energy and your trauma, no trauma at all. So this is just one chamber or room in a big temple. And we have a lot like this in each cult. This is life in Egypt. I ask people to come to Egypt to have this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the most famous artifact in Egypt is probably the Cheops pyramid. But
Yes.
what if we ask anybody out there in the listening and viewing audience right now a simple question? I bet half of them will get it wrong. And that is, how many sides does the Cheops pyramid have? What do you think?
How many sides inside the Greek pyramids or complex of the Greek pyramids?
Yeah. What if it had 8 sides instead of 4? Because there are, yeah.
You speak about the Greek pyramid complex. What
Yes.
is inside this complex? Yes. Greek pyramids, we already have three big pyramids and small pyramids. And we have some valley temple and funerary temple for rituals and Sphinx. This is in the complex of the Greek pyramids. I got your question?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's not just a Greek pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just not a Greek pyramid.
Yeah, I was also thinking about the sides of the pyramid is not straight. There is a little angle to it.
Yes. They built the pyramid
Mm-hmm.
as we learned it in history and the book. They had an angle aligned with the stars and with Orion. And they start build the pyramid. They have the first plane and second plane, third plane. They have, like now, if you are a designer, you had your layout for the pyramids. And they have the first chamber and second room and third one to get the final pyramid. The angle is aligned with the star,
Mm-hmm.
with Orion.
They were quite knowledgeable people. Where do you think most of the knowledge that they built these pyramids and the alignment of the star, where do you think that knowledge came from?
Okay. If we say as our history or the book, we say more than 4,000 years we built the pyramid. But in fact, or also in my opinion, it is not true. The ancient Egyptian didn't build the pyramids. The pyramid is more than 12,000 years old. Because I have evidence inside the pyramids, no hieroglyphic signs. So maybe it's older than ancient Egyptian, more than 4,000 years old. It's built. There is some research. It say it's built by Atlantis people, ancient Atlantis.
Yes.
So
I was going to jump in on
no hieroglyphics inside the pyramids.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because one of the things in my experiences, life experiences there, research. I think Atlantis was considered to be, not in my opinion, Atlantis was not a location. Atlantis was a civilization that spanned over an era of time. There was an era of time, and Atlantis was not on one physical location on the planet. It was like saying we went through the Bronze Age. Atlantis was an era of time on this planet. And so within that era, there was civilization in Egypt with persons who had the same knowledge. If we look, we see that the Atlanteans had high knowledge of crystal and sound technology. And, this is going to bring us on to, the pyramids being capable not only to generate energy, they are electromagnetic in nature. They're many different functions about the mechanics of how they were built and the effect that has on the human mind, body, spirit complex. And when you enter that space, it is like entering a different dimension, and it can alter your ability to perceive time itself and bring in many experiences. So I really believe that there is a lot of the remnants of Atlantis and very much active in Egypt. Some of it is above the surface of the desert. Some of it is under by chance over time, but some of it has been hidden by choice, because I believe that they, as you say, they don't really want us knowing everything that is in Egypt. And obviously, even on this broadcast, there are certain things we must not mention. But I do believe if you are a person who can perceive energy, who can tune in, you will very much perceive and see what is still existing there in terms of the technology in Egypt at this time.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned something here, how pyramids and how they were built. Let's visit that one for a little bit, because we are told, and it says in the history books, that, they have thousands of slaves that was rolling these big rocks on logs. But something isn't quite jiving with it, and because if you put a 70-ton rock on logs, that rock will collapse on you, and there's not going to be probably need about 400,000 slaves to pull it. But there's something else that I wonder about, because they found the quarries when a lot of the stones were carved out of the mountain 400 miles away. Now, how do you move a 70-ton stone 400 miles, floating it down the river, and then move it up from the river up on the Giza Plateau, and moving it another, I think it's about 75 to 100 feet up, and stick it in the ceiling of, I think it's the Grand Gallery. But how do you do that with just slaves? Something is not right here. And help me out, Shimaa. I am really all ears.
Yes, what you say is not true. It's true, because it is not make sense that these big stones can move in this way. No, it's not sense. It's not logic. They have a different energy to build the pyramids. What we study in the history say they use the big ramps and some wood to move, and some wheels, and they have a big boat transferring the stones from another side of the river. So this is what's written in the book, but it's not logic at all, from my opinion. And what I feel inside the Greek pyramids, it is different energy, maybe frequency, maybe vibration. No, they use energy. not human being, not slabs. No, at all. There is no slabs, because when we study history, we found there is a royal tomb for the workers in the area of the Greek pyramids, and if we have three pyramids, we have also small pyramids for some people, like supervisors of the building and some positions. So no slab. This is forest. No, they working together to protect this building, not to build this building.
Mm-hmm.
So pyramids built more than 12,000 years, as I say before, not Egyptian, not ancient Egyptian. They work to recognize, to write the history, to tell us, no, what is this building, not more, just a documentation. They do the documentation with hieroglyphics, letters, and sign for us now to know what is this building, not more. This is my opinion.
Yeah,
I think one of the telltale signs as well, which many people don't know about, is what is known as the bin, or the caps. So we know that the pyramids were originally all white and coated in this white marble. White has, when we think about the qualities of white, that has a very unique frequency. A lot of people, when we do our meditations, Nori, we call in like the white magnetic light of the creator, which is a real frequency. But the bin is the capstone that were removed through time on these pyramids. And I'm going to let Shimaa speak a little about that, because this gives us a very good clue about who or whose were around directing and constructing the building of the pyramids. Shimaa.
Yes, when we speak about bin, is a small pyramid from stones, not in the earth. This is just stone to receive the energy. So most of the pyramids in Egypt had these capstones, but we found some for one pyramid at Saqqara, but for Greek pyramids we didn't find. This is capstone. It's used to receive the energy, and it has some symbolic sign like Horus eye. It means we protect you, and so it's amazing. You can see one in Egyptian Museum in Cairo, just one, but it's people stand in front of this bin and say, they didn't understand what's this type of stone till now.
It's a meteorite, so the stone is not from Earth. What the one capstone, all of them had these capstones, and it was it's a substance. It's a meteorite. It's not from this planet. And, I don't know if you're aware, Shimaa, Age has written an amazing book called, How to Access the Universal Consciousness, or the Universal Life Force. So these capstones were created to be a channel, or to draw the universal, the chi, the frill, the universal consciousness and energies down into these structures, and for all the people to receive the benefits thereof.
Yeah. Now that was a little bit about how they may have used energy and sound to move the stones, and I am totally convinced that is how it happened. The question is also, who did it? Maybe the history books. Okay, here's the word history. You got to remember, when we read the word history, break up the word, it is his story. Maybe it's not our story. There could be something else in there that applies to this, and that is that maybe what's in the history book is not right. If you look at the history book, it says Khufu built it, or at least he said so. But there are other old documents that I found. And there is a 3,750-year-old document that is actually called, I believe it is in the Enuma Elish. If you go and read those papers, that was 3,750 years ago. It was carbon dated to be that old. And they're saying that the people who built the big pyramid was the crocodile kings. And if you look in Egypt and elsewhere in the world, you find statues of people looking like us all the way up to here, and then they have a crocodile head on them. Actually, their hands also have claws. These statues are all over the place. Why are they in South America as well as in India and other places far away from each other? They must, whoever did those statues must have seen something, or seen drawings of it, or something that represented humanoids with crocodiles' heads, because there is a lot of carvings with those guys. And I challenge the listeners and the viewers out there, go research this and see what you think too, because there is more to this story than just one side. That's my story, and I'm done.
It's very fast.
Crocodile god Sobek knew, so I knew it's I didn't hear before, so I will let Eleanor say what she believe on.
Well, of course, I don't believe that the crocodile. Sobek. I don't believe that it was in his time of rulership that those were built, or did he build them? I do personally believe, like all through history, as we have the evidence globally. So in these different sacred sites all over the world where we have these intersecting grid lines, energy lines, because the ancients, they were very knowledgeable, and they still, so the History Channel and a lot of different shows, it's still a mystery of how a lot of these sites were built. How did these megalith stones come and move over very difficult terrain? And how did they fit precisely and exactly together? Additionally, if modern archaeologists and modern civil engineers can look at the way that the stones that were cut and fit together, and there's a lot of specific cuts that we don't even have that level of technology in terms of being able to cut through stone at those precise measurements. So I believe, I'm going to say it, I believe that we do, obviously we have been visited by off-world species for a very long time, and they were part and parcel of the building of many of these structures in Egypt and many different parts of the world.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I think those, if they were crocodiles that did it, they were not native to here. They came from somewhere else. But then again, that is only one theory. There are others out there that may be more valid. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's a great movie that I actually rewatched recently. One of my favorites but the Indiana Jones movie with the crystal skull, it is actually one of the best movies. It's very triggery for our DNA, because in our DNA are these memories. Each one of us who's living today, our DNA goes way back, that we may have had ancestors in these places. And that is a very interesting thing to say, that it is the technology of our DNA, our physical and our spiritual DNA, that when we are at these sites, can get activated and switched on as well, and can bring a lot of memories, and a lot of what is dormant in our DNA can be activated, especially with awareness and intention and preparation at these sites.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You have pictures, yes? I would love to hear more of the story as we get to really experience
Okay.
it. Yes.
Okay. Just pull you guys up. Okay. So Shimaa, because I took these on my last trip, what I'm going to ask you to do is just to help me out with some of the photos. So in case I don't remember everywhere where they are, I'm almost there. Okay. I'm going to remember some of them. So these were all my photos and some of the persons. I'm just going to start. So here we are setting out to a very special place here. This is the island of Philae. And the island of Philae, Shimaa may pronounce it. It was an island. Philae.
Sometimes we say Phila in Arabic and Philae in English. This is Isis temple.
Right. So this was an island that was so sacred. It had to be, it crumbled into the water and it was rebuilt. The Egyptian government and the French government, it was one of the most biggest collaborations that they did. And I can't remember when they exactly did it, but this particular temple as well can only be accessed by boat or water. It is literally a freestanding island, and it has
called Fluka. It's a small boat.
Yes. We get up very, very early in the morning to go there. And it has a very rich history, which I'm going to show you, because this is where you're going to the boat to go to the island. It had a lot of Greek and Roman, in the time of Alexander. This is, we had a lot of activity happening and a lot of colonization and trade between Greece and the Roman Empire. This is one of the markets there in the morning. Where they sell some incredible incense and all the things that you can think of. Okay, go back here.
I wonder about this island. Was that the island that there was a mystery school that Yahshua Bet Halakme, or the guy that you know as Jesus, he spent several years on an island in Egypt, in more or less in the mouth of the river?
It might be. I'm not certain. What is interesting here, I want to show you, is the symbol of the Knights Templar. The symbol of what we had in Egypt is when we had all these different eras and the different dynasties, we would have, just like in any other country, we'd have the old symbols or the old faces, and then the colonizers or those who were there would imprint their own symbols of power in these spaces. So this is sunrise. This is sunrise at Philae. Oh, let me show you. This is a real-time shot. When I came back from Egypt, you wouldn't believe what this is. My favorite, there's two gods I have the strongest connection to, not the most popular ones. One is Akhenaten, and the other one is Hathor, that I've had my own unique and very personal experiences with. We all know what Akhenaten looks like. I will show you a photo of me and him shortly in the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities. But I came back from Egypt and I went to process my experience and just connect in a sacred way. I did a fire in my garden. I did a fire, and this, if you know the Akhenaten, this is his head, his large head, his body, and his hook that he used, and his foot. And so this appeared in my actual fire as I was doing a ceremony.
Wow.
It is truly mystical.
Wow.
Okay. This is the island of Philae, all of the cats. Cats are sacred in Egypt. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Go through. Again, this is all filet, and you can see all of the different different aspects of this temple and remains. Okay, Hadrian, Hathor, Isis. We have Imhotep, who was made famous in the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I keep coming out of that window. Okay, just go back. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the Valley of the Kings. Here we start. This is me. This is here in the Valley of the Kings, which is an incredible journey to take. This is where a lot of the tombs, oh, I'm so sorry, the tombs are. So the Valley of the King is a journey that you have to be very ready for. And maybe, Shimaa, you can just talk about it a little bit while I'm pulling up those photos again. Okay. Okay. Valley of
This is in
Valley of the King. Sorry, it keeps jumping out of my screen. I'm so sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
you wanted to speak about Valley of the King and Valley of the Queen. This is the big area in the West Bank of Luxor. This is a lot of tomb for pharaohs and kings and women, royal. So you need me to speak about this one or just?
We can move on. Here we are. We are, I think, in Hathor's temple.
Yes.
Hathor.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the famous sistrum for Hathor. She used the sistrum for dance and music. She is famous with these tools. Sistrum.
A lot of these tools will be brought back. So I know some people that have created some of these types of tools that they're using metals. Okay, we can talk about this image here as well. The famous light bulb.
Yes. This is in Dandara temple in Upper Egypt. This temple was for Hathor, the cow goddess. Hathor is the god of love and fertility and kind. She bring all of people what they want. So when you go there, just ask Hathor, please help me, please protect me. You will gain what you want or what you ask. So from this photo, you see, this is the technology. From their side, from the side, this is big one, included a serpent. So it means the power, it means the energy. And this is called digit pillar. So digit pillar is the sign for stability. What we can use or see in Osirian temple, because it means if you want to be stable or protected, you can use this sign.
A symbol, like a bubble around our aura. A lot of people have thought that this was a light bulb, but it really symbolizes like you being in a form of protection or a bubble of protection with your life force is inside. Yes. Okay. So this is a cute one. This is many people don't know. I didn't know this. Even all I had studied that dwarves were very popular. They used to bring different dwarves from different places. You know how in the Arthurian or English culture, they had court jesters and they had people who would make merry and entertain the royals. So dwarves were very, very popular with the royals.
And also I want to say, could you back the photo? Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Yes. This god's name is Bes. This god here, because he is protect pregnant woman.
Yes.
But what is pregnant woman? She is a pregnant for divine birth. The for example, Isis will bring Horus, so base here to protect.
Yes. Just like the story of Mary, yes. So divine protection for those who are bringing creativity, bringing life, and having what we would consider these divine powers. Okay. Okay. Keeps coming out. Okay, as I continue here. Agi, are there any other questions as I start to bring up some of these photos? This is a very special one here. This is in the Temple of Horus. A lot of people, I don't know if we discussed this, Doa. Remember I told you that there is like a different language, a very different language. It has a special name in the Temple of Horus that it's not really popular. It's not really out there. And it seems to have a lot of coding to do or instructions for our DNA. Do you know about this one?
Yes, it's a magic word, and they can use it because the ancient Egyptian use a magic for a lot of things. So it's a magic science.
And the good thing with all this technology, I'm sure Nori and Agi would agree, the technology that is in Egypt is not something that the world needs to worry about, okay? It is benevolent technology. And the beautiful thing, how wise these beautiful beings, how wise they were, we call it magic in this dimension, but it's called science or technology or mechanics, okay? That's the word we use, alchemy of reality. The only way you can have access to this technology and use it is you must be a frequency match. If you're full of hate and anger and the bad intentions, you have to be a vibrational match to unlock and to utilize this technology. So this is some very important to be noted because, they also have, as we know, we live in a diverse world, and there's been so much sort of like superstition, in the Western world and with the other Abrahamic religions on, the sort of like dubious history. But to mention on this is one thing to be noted about Egypt that we are not told as well, which is very beautiful, is that this is on downtown Cairo, sunset, just driving through the pyramids. Egypt currently is run mostly by the Egyptian military, and they do a really good job. So for each site, they have somebody who would be in charge. There's a commanding officer. That's the group there in the morning with the pyramids. They have someone in charge, yes, of the pyramids, and the military is there. But as many people know, there was an ancient mystery school known as the Egyptian mystery schools. And this is something that Shimaa and I will be talking about in the future. I did have exposure, and I was in a mystery school, and we were exposed to certain teachings within that mystery school. But additionally, the Egyptian mystery school, okay, it never died. It never died. It simply went underground. And when you are, my system is glitching there. When you are at the sites, you will see the presence there. There are different men in white robes and white hats, and they're often around the place. And they are very much protecting the spiritual energies and all of the sacred sites in Egypt. So there's the ancient tradition is still alive and running concurrent to the modern day. Okay, let's see if we can get any more of these. Right, so this is right there in the paws of the Sphinx. And this is something I know, Agi, you had wanted to touch on. The Sphinx, that's in Sunrise. So when we go there, we will do, because obviously there are, going back to that word magic, there are unique energies that stir at dawn and dusk, at twilight and dusk. So when we are there at that time, we can also make the most of those energies. So you had asked us something about the Sphinx in particular, and there's talk about the Hall of Records, how old the Sphinx is, the water, where geologists have studied, and the watermarks alone will tell us how much older the Sphinx is than we have actually, what the history of our global narrative is saying at this time in our history.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we look at the back of the Sphinx, or the body of the Sphinx, there is grooves from runoff of water. And these are geologists that is coming out saying that this is from water. And there were no water in Egypt. In order to have water, this magnitude that will create that runoff, that dates back 30,000 years before you had water that could do that. So now that challenges the history books again, as well as another enigma to it is that we know there's a chamber, there's a hall of record under the right paw. We know the Egyptian government was in there, and I wondered what they found. Is there anything that has surfaced on that, Shimaa, that you can know of?
What you say, that was officially not announced from Egyptian government, but we know that there is American researchers come here and they have a result what is close to the paw of Sphinx, right one. And there is a big chamber and big city under the Sphinx. And we don't know why nowadays they didn't complete these discoveries, but there is a secret, because they say there is a whole of library. It records all the history and what under the sand of Egypt, and what is the secret of building the pyramid and the Sphinx. So we will wait. May we know what under the Sphinx soon, inshallah. I hope so, because we need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are several people that talk about they think there's been some leaks of information.
Yes, the American researchers say there is a lake, it's clean water. Yeah. And also it's connected with Osirian in Upper Egypt, the same green and clean water. You can know more about Osirian. It's a temple in Abydos in Upper Egypt for the Osirian god of the underworld.
Yeah.
So, and for people out there, it's really important to note that the Temple of Osirian, is where the first image in our history of the flower of life is imprinted. That is the first place where the flower of life is, and it's the heart. It's the first place it was there. So there is a very deep meaning and lineage in that temple.
Yeah,
I love that.
I see. We are using the time here, so then maybe show a couple of more good pictures, and then I want to hear a little bit about your tours to Egypt. What will people actually be able to participate with and see? And there's maybe some spiritual experiences in there also somewhere.
Look at Doa. This is Shimaa's, just to say, this is Shimaa's sister, Doa.
Okay.
Yeah, Shimaa, go ahead. Hi, Doa.
She's here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pointing to the capstone that isn't there.
Exactly, exactly. We can flow that universal consciousness now. Yes, so please talk, Shimaa, about the tour and what we can experience. There's a lot that one can do in 10 days. It's very comprehensive. You're on mute.
Sorry. We will start with visit a Great Pyramids and the Pyramid Complex. Stay 2 hours private close to Sphinx. This is a different energy and different experience. So for me, I didn't do any common trip. We need spiritual and healing trip. People want to retreat, so they must come to Egypt. So inside the Great Pyramids, we have energy. We will align with the stars. We have energy with the Sphinx, and after that, we can visit Saqqara. Saqqara is a complex area, included a lot of pyramids and tombs from the 4th and 5th dynasty. And after that, we can go to Akhenaten city. Akhenaten city is for Akhenaten. May Eleanor want to show us photo for Akhenaten?
I'll find that now. Yes.
Yes.
I'll get him now, and that is in the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities, correct? But let me. This is in Luxor.
Okay. And after that, we can fly or drive, go to Luxor and Aswan. We will visit Luxor Temple and Karnak.
This is Luxor and Karnak here.
Yes. Huge and massive temple. And there is Luxor, it's called our body temple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luxor is built. The whole complex of Luxor is built as the human body. So each body of the temple represents a different part of the body. I'm just pulling this up from the small, a different part of the body. And as we walk through each part of the temple, we receive healing for that specific part of the body. But this is inside the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities, and this is a statue of Akhenaten.
Of Akhenaten, Akhenaten God.
Yeah. I want to say something. Look at his face. That face does not belong to a human.
No.
That belongs to, and look at the shape of the body is not human. Mm-hmm. This is the shape of the body that is depicted in drawings and carvings of the Anunnaki.
Absolutely. And a very important point to mention. Most people don't know that within the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities, it houses 1/3 of the world's antiquities. So just being in the, just going to the museum, I mean, you are going to be able to see so many eras of history and time in one place. It is, I mean, it is truly, it's truly, the word is awesome. It can be a bit overwhelming. You know, I remember when we went to see, I never felt a connection with Tutankhamun, but they have a whole huge section dedicated to Tutankhamun.
Treasure. Yes.
And I just cried. I don't know why. This is Saqqara.
Yes.
Saqqara.
This, yes. Sphinx.
Okay. And what you can talk about the other while I pull up the rest here, Shimaa.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Also, we bring people to do initiatic path inside the temple of Egypt. So we can have private time in
you keep talking.
Isis temple and visit in Isis temple.
What Shimaa? Okay, you're back with us. Go ahead.
Okay. We bring people to have initiatic path in their life, initiatic path. So on the temple. So, for example, when we go to Sekhmet chamber in the Karnak for healing for 2 hours to release. And in Isis, we can visit Mamisi's room, the divine birth room. And in Hathor is the Ndara goddess. We can have a different energy there for our feminine energy. This is very important because in ancient Egyptian woman, it was in the back, close to the man, helping and protecting, and she had her image. When he fight, you can find a woman. When there is a love, you can find a woman. So feminine energy in each temple. So we will work on this also. Okay.
I see we are down to the end of the show here, but let people know we have your website in the text below, but also tell people where they can find you and where they can get some more information about the tours over there and look at the pictures on your website.
Okay. We have a company, sekhmettour.com. Already we will share. My name is Shimaa. I am available in WhatsApp and website. All my information in website. I'm ready to help anyone want to come to Egypt, wherever. For example, today I have a group. Their flight, it's different time. Some come at 1 a.m. and some come 3 and some. So I need to handle all this. So I didn't book hotel. Some people stay with me at home. So I'm flexible to help people to have my mission wherever. It is not a business. I love what I do. And also I have a deal with Eleanor to come to Egypt. We have our own itinerary. You can see, and we are open to work with anyone.
It's called the Goddess Tour. It will be in March of 2024. And we've made the tour 10 days, but that 10 days will include Cairo. It will include domestic flights. It will include a Nile tour. It is incredible value. It's also the value of us being there with you to guide you and to connect to these energies. So this is an opportunity we wanted to put forward for humanity at this time, and for all those who have ever wanted to go, to have people who are knowledgeable, who know their way around, and make sure that they have a spiritual and a safe journey.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's amazing. And I can't even imagine how amazing that tour would be. So thank you. Thank you, Shimaa, for what you do. Thank you, Eleanor. Amazing pictures, beautiful sharing. So much love to you both. Yeah. And everybody in the chat room, everybody watching on the replay, thank you for being here. Don't forget, we've got the Friday show at 7:30, the Quantum Wellbeing Show. It's a quick show. It's only 30, maybe 45 minutes if we go over. We've got the membership group right here if you want exclusive content. And we're here every Tuesday, of course, at 8 p.m. And don't forget, we've got the Paranormal Show now on Sunday, 8 p.m. That's all Eastern time. Much love, everybody. We'll see you next week, and take good care.
Thank you.
Thank you for